Hello, hi, it's Liz here, and today I'm going to do some mini scrap busting using little pieces of scraps from my mini box. This is the smaller bits of scraps that I keep in here, and I'm going to make some clusters, which is another, so I'm keeping this upside down because it's nearly done and I like to keep it upside down so that it doesn't waste time with the glue coming to the top. So I think we'll just move that over to the side. I've also got my Pritt stick, and this is the 3-in-1 that I'm going to use as well. So clusters are, well, as the name suggests, little clusters of bits, I think anyway, bits of, scraps, little mini bits of scraps. But I thought what I would do to make it a bit different, because normally each cluster is kind of individual, I thought I had this bit of kind of canvas material fabric, and I thought if I put the clusters along here, it would keep them all together until I need them, and I could maybe even roll them up. You know how you get those snippet rolls where you snip things off? I thought, what about a cluster roll? So that's sort of the idea. So I've already been through my box of bits and bobs, and I have picked out a few things. So what I normally do is start with a focal point, and for my focal point I'm using this little person here. How cute is she? Let me just move that back a bit. There we go, so that we're in the middle. So she's my focal point, and then it's just a few bits and pieces that I've picked out from my box. And one of these, remember before the move, I think it was the last video before the move, because I only had a few bits out of boxes, and I made these little number shapes, stamped numbers, and I thought we would use one of them. So just layering up, and obviously the biggish piece at the back, and then just kind of off centering some bits, just add that for some texture, and then maybe put this at a jaunty angle and pop that through somewhere. So really easy little things to do. So let's glue this down, and yeah. So I'm going to use the 3-in-1 for this first layer because it's going onto the fabric, but also what I'm going to do, I think we'll see what it's like when they're done. And also with clusters, I don't glue right to the edge because I quite like things getting a little bit dog-eared, if you know what I mean by that. Kind of, you know, little bits at the edge will curl up or, you know, fold a little bit. You want it to look a little bit scrappy. So I was thinking at the end, once they're all done, maybe to take them to the sewing machine and just run a stitch all the way through, so that when I want to cut each cluster off, I'll have a little bits of thread at either end. I think that's the plan anyway. So I'm not going to worry too much about absolutely getting them glued down. So this is from an old whatchamacallit, atlas. It's funny how we just keep every little piece. I don't know why I was looking at that so intently, trying to decide what side to use. Oh dear. She's lovely, isn't she, with her berry? I've got a couple of berries for the winter. I do like a berry. Somehow feels more comfy than a big pom-pom hat. We just met one of our new neighbours there. They was at the door, held me back a wee bit from my videoing, but that's okay because it's nice to meet the new neighbours. So he's up on the top floor, which is only 3 up. So he's up there with I don't know if it's his girlfriend, partner, wife, I don't know, Maddie, but Maddie is his other half. So that was nice. So for this one, I've got an old piece of ledger paper. So he's clearing out this neighbour that we've just met, a youngish lad. He's clearing out the communal cellar. He's taken a notion today. He says it's filled with rubbish, and him and Maddie keep their bikes in there, and he's a bit concerned that there's really not enough room. I want to leave a little bit so that when I cut them apart, I'll be able to like fringe up, take a thread out and fringe up the edges, I think. So he's there. We haven't seen in this cellar yet. It's out in the hall, and we'll need to go and have a look at it, because apparently this is a stamp that I've had for a long time. Apparently there's a big set of ladders in this cellar, which will come in very useful, because as of our blinds have been ordered, so they're coming in just less than 2 weeks, our new wooden slatted blinds. But once we've got them up, we'll need to think about curtains, and now I kind of want this up a little bit. Oh, let's peel that off a wee bit so that we're not taking away the moon's eyes. Just about there, I think. Yeah, because the problem with the curtains, apart from getting the size, the length, because it's, I don't know, far too long for curtains. And so, but the other problem is, even if you could find curtains, that's quite cute, isn't it? It's a really eclectic mix, that's for sure. Even if you could find curtains, we don't have the wherewithal, the ladders, really long ladders to get them hung up on the rail. So anyway, lo and behold, there are ladders here that we can use. The communal ladder. So that's good. So this was one of my whatnots, remember? The whatnots? I still have them in a little box. Right, let's use this for this. I'm saying I still have them in a little box. There's not that many left. I've really been using them. I think this is nearly done. It's not coming out. I think it's thickened up for some reason. But like I say, we're going to put a wee stitch through them, so we won't worry about that. So some folks have been asking how Millie has settled in to the new house, to the new home. And Millie, for new subscribers, Millie is our greyhound. She's a rescue greyhound. We've had Millie now about 5 years, I think. Maybe about there, like that. And yeah, she's settled in so well. She actually loves it here, and I'll tell you why. We are in an area where greyhound rescue is very much to the fore, which is excellent. For some reason, the people here just love greyhounds. I mean, there's lots of other doggies as well, and lots of cats. I think it's because we are in the area of these tenement flats, these old Victorian red sandstone flats, apartments. And I suppose cats are the way to go, and greyhounds are the way to go because, well, they're just super lazy, easy to look after, and perfect if you don't have a garden. So, although we've got our little front garden now, which is really good, and we bought plants, it's looking well. I don't know if I mentioned that in the video where I made the tags and I gave you a wee update about how we were doing. Right, I think I'm going to have to open a new one of these. I'm just going to use Pritz and a new one of these. I'm just going to use that just now. Because like I say, there's going to be a stitch, I think. This is the Tim Holtz tissue paper. Keep every fragment of that because, you know, I'm not cheap. And that was another whatnot, little circle, a little mini cluster. So we've got a cluster on a cluster. It's like those Russian dolls where you open them up and there's another one and another one. So we've got a cluster on a cluster. And I suppose that's quite a good word for just now, peace. You maybe have seen the nonsense that's going on in the United Kingdom. Well, thankfully here in Scotland, we have resisted taking part in any sort of fighting in the streets, the demonstrations. Well, I'm calling them demonstrations, they're not even that, they're just complete and utter hooligans anyway. And thankfully we have not had any bother trouble here, so that's really good. But I can feel for the normal people, the people in England that want nothing to do with it. Oh, it must be terrible for them. But anyway, I'm not even going to go there very much. But that's, yes, peace and create. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe now, just to make them a little bit sturdier, I don't want to go through this poor girl's face, so let's think if I do maybe a zigzag down. Yeah, we can maybe do a zigzag because I don't want to. No, I think we'll go along, take it to the machine, put it through the machine, and then we've got 4 clusters on a roll. Sounds like a plan. Okay, I'm back, and typically the little spool ran out just about there, so not to worry. Right, so it took a wee bit longer than what I thought it would because it takes me an age to get the needle threaded. Anyway, that's it, and I think that makes a wee difference, having the little zigzag through, and it also makes it much more sturdy as clusters. Now, let's choose what, well, let's see, if we didn't use one today, would it roll up? Now, would we want to roll it in the way or out the way? I think maybe we could roll it round something. So it starts to kind of look like one of those snippet rolls. Actually, that's pretty good. With a little bit of twine round and a little bit of ribbon, that would sit quite nicely on the shelf, just to be used as and when. So yeah. Right, let's pick one for the journal. Although I do want to take a photograph of it for my thumbnail before we start cutting it. I've actually got a couple of new coffee stickers to write up in this. Let's see, it's an empty page. Here's a nice blank page here that could do with a wee corner. That could be quite good because it's got a bird there, and we could have this little cluster, if you could imagine what it would be like. Yeah, it could be quite nice there. It might cover up the bird though. That was the tag we made last week with the Monopoly money. This might be quite nice here because of the doily. That might be quite nice. Anyway, I shall find a spot. That's where we were this morning. We had coffee and pastry this morning for breakfast. I had the hairdresser this morning for a long overdue cut. So, haircut done. There's still plenty space. Oh, there's a little whatnot. I think Evie made that one. Yeah. So, a long overdue haircut. So, good. Right. So, that's me today. Super simple. Use up some scrap bits and bobs. And yeah, happy with them. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. If you've enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be great. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.